The story begins with the narrator describing a childhood spent in the shadow of their golden child brother, the one who could do no wrong. From birthdays to graduations, every celebration revolved around him. If he scored average grades, it was a triumph. If the narrator achieved something extraordinary, it was expected, never celebrated. The parents constantly excused the brother's bad behavior, while criticizing the narrator for the smallest mistakes. Over time, the narrator learned to stay quiet, to avoid asking for attention, and to handle everything alone. When college came, the parents poured all their savings into the brother's failed business idea while telling the narrator to figure out. So the narrator quietly applied for jobs out of state, packed their belongings in silence, and moved away. No dramatic goodbye, no tears, no confrontation. And the shocking part? No one noticed. Weeks turned into months. Not a single call asking where they were. The parents assumed they were busy. Meanwhile, the narrator struggled in a new city alone, working 2 jobs, sleeping in a tiny apartment, building a life from scratch. Slowly, success began to grow. A promotion, a better apartment, real independence. For the first time, the narrator felt seen by colleagues, by friends, even if not by family. The emotional hook ends when, nearly a year later, the parents finally call, not to ask how they are, but to request money to rescue the brother from another financial disaster. And that's when everything changes. The second part explores a confrontation that never happened in childhood but finally explodes in adulthood. When the parents call asking for financial help for the brother, the narrator calmly informs them they no longer live in the same state. Silence fills the phone. The parents are confused. What do you mean you moved? They hadn't noticed because they were too busy dealing with the brother's legal trouble, debt, and constant drama. The narrator doesn't yell. Instead, they explain how long they've been gone, nearly a year, and how not once did anyone ask about their life. The parents try to brush it off, saying they knew you were independent. That phrase becomes an emotional trigger. Independent didn't mean unloved. Independent didn't mean invisible. The narrator recalls moments of emotional neglect. School plays where no one came, award ceremonies attended alone, nights crying silently while hearing the brother praise in the next room. For the first time, the narrator speaks without fear. The parents react offensively at first, accusing them of being jealous or dramatic. But when the narrator calmly lists facts, dates, events, milestones ignored, the cracks begin to show. The call ends unresolved. However, something shifts. For the first time, the parents are forced to confront the possibility that they didn't just favor one child. They lost the other entirely. I end this section. Reality hits the parent hard. The golden child brother's life continues spiraling. Failed business ventures, irresponsible spending, entitlement, and eventually serious financial collapse. The parents, aging and financially strained, can no longer bail him out. Meanwhile, through social media and mutual relatives, they slowly discover the narrator's quiet success, a stable career, a new home, respect in their community. The contrast becomes impossible to ignore. The child they overlooked became responsible, disciplined, and self-made. The child they protected became dependent and reckless. The parents attempt to reconnect. Awkward texts, birthday messages, sudden interest in visits. The narrator struggles emotionally. There is anger, but also longing. Years of neglect don't disappear overnight. When the parents finally visit the narrator's new state, they are shocked by the life built without them. The apartment is beautiful. The workplace respects them. Friends speak highly of them. The parents begin to realize they never truly knew this child. A quiet dinner scene becomes the emotional centerpiece, heavy with unspoken regret. The brother, still expecting rescue, calls during the visit demanding money. For the first time, the parents don't immediately respond. The realization settles in. Favoritism didn't just damage one child, it damaged the entire family. The final outline focuses on resolution. The narrator sets boundaries. They refuse to fund the brother's mistakes, but offer something different, emotional honesty. A deep conversation unfolds where the parents admit, perhaps not perfectly, that they relied on the narrator's strength too much and enabled the brother's weakness. They confess fear. The brother always seemed fragile, while the narrator seemed strong. So they invested attention where they thought it was needed most. But they now see the cost. The The narrator explains that strength is often built from neglect, not choice. Tears, silence, uncomfortable truths. The story can end in two powerful ways depending on tone. Option A hopeful rebuilding, where family therapy is suggested and small steps toward equality begin. Or Option B, a bittersweet independence, where the narrator chooses peace over reconciliation, maintaining distance but releasing resentment. The final message centers on a powerful truth. Being overlooked can either break you or build you, and sometimes the loudest revenge is quiet success. The story closes with the narrator standing in their new city, watching the sunset, realizing they were never invisible, just in the wrong place to be seen.